The Nightly Business Report.
Good evening. Tonight, Sri Lanka's economy rebounds slightly in the second quarter of this year, ending 2 quarters of slowdown with modest growth driven by agriculture, industry and services sectors. Planters Association warns government against new spice import policy, citing risks to local farmers and Sri Lanka's spice reputation. ASPI and S&P SL20 climb sharply as investor confidence boosts Sri Lankan stock market. And Wall Street rises ahead of Federal Reserve decision led by strong Tesla rally.
From Studio 24C, here's Anuradi Vikramasinghe.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. Sri Lanka's economy showed a modest growth of 4.9% in the second quarter of this year, marking a slight rebound after slowing in the previous 2 quarters.
Sri Lanka's economy grew by 4.9% in the second quarter of 2025, up slightly from 4.7% a year earlier, showing signs of recovery after slowing in the previous 2 quarters. This marks the 8th consecutive quarter of positive growth since the third quarter of 2023. Agriculture expanded by 2% with notable increases in animal production, cereal growing and tea cultivation, despite declines in rubber and fishing sectors. Industrial activities grew by 5.8%, driven by strong performance in construction, mining and manufacturing industries. The services sector saw a 3.9% growth led by IT, financial services, hospitality and transport. The easing of vehicle import restrictions and lower interest rates contributed to increased economic activity across wholesale trade, transport and financial services. Speaking on Get Real with Mahesh Johnny, founder and executive chairman of Ideal Group Nalin Velgama, said that the development of the economy in the automobile front has seen a positive trajectory.
In my industry, the suspension that was placed upon motor vehicles was lifted in 2025 after 5 years. And central bank allocated something like 1.2 billion at that time until December this year. And I'm told that up to now, up to the 3rd of September, there was something like 30,000 LCs that were established with a value of nearly 1.5 billion, surpassing the 1.2 billion already. And the vehicles, there were, I think, 30,000 LCs yielding something like 120,000 vehicles, of which about 65,000 vehicles, 220,000 vehicles, of which 160,000 or thereabouts have already been cleared. So there's another 65,000 to go. So up to now, they have spent nearly 900 million. But when the other LCs are cleared, it'll bring it up to about 1.5 billion. So, but there's a gap in the LCs and the cars coming through.
The Sri Lanka Export Development Board and Germany's Import Promotion Desk will formalize their partnership through a new cooperation agreement, expanding support to Sri Lanka's digital products and services sector alongside natural ingredients and processed foods. Since 2019, their collaboration has helped SMEs improve compliance and connect with European buyers, particularly in natural ingredients. During a recent visit, IPD officials assessed Sri Lanka's IT companies for inclusion in their matchmaking program targeting European markets. The agreement aims to provide tailored coaching on EU market entry, sustainability and export documentation while enhancing EDP's advisory capabilities. This expanded partnership will scale up advisory services, matchmaking and participation in international trade events to boost Sri Lanka's export growth in both traditional and digital sectors. The Planters Association of Ceylon has raised serious concerns over the government's new policy allowing spice imports, fearing it threatens Sri Lanka's globally renowned pure Ceylon spice industry.
The Planters Association of Ceylon has expressed strong opposition to the government's decision to allow the importation of spices under a new regulatory framework. The PA warns that this move could undermine Sri Lanka's pure Ceylon spice brand, dilute the market, and export the industry to smuggling and adulteration risks. Imported spices produced at lower costs may create unfair competition for local farmers, threatening their livelihoods. The association also cautions that this policy could damage Sri Lanka's trade relations, particularly with India India, which has already raised concerns. PA urges the government to reconsider the decision and focus instead on supporting local production and sustainable growth of the spice industry.
The southern province has become the first in Sri Lanka to fully implement digital payments across all its district and provincial secretariats using GovPay, the state digital payment platform. The official launch was held on the 15th of September at the Mathura District Secretariat, attended by Deputy Minister of Digital Economy, Honorable Eranga Weeraratne. With this, all 3 district secretariats and 50 divisional secretariats in the province now accept online payments for government services. Since its national launch in February of this year, GovPay has processed over 110 million rupees for 1,767 government services, connecting 14 banks and 6 fintech providers. Deputy Minister Weeraratne highlighted the platform's role in creating a transparent, efficient and citizen-friendly public service. Let's take a short break now. This is the Nightly Business Report. Welcome back to the Nightly Business Report. Sri Lanka's stock market saw strong gains today, with both major indices closing higher. Investor sentiment remained positive, driving notable upticks in the ASPI and S&P SO20. For further insights on this, we have Salama Sanoon from First Capital Holdings.
Thank you, Anuradhi. The Colombo boast reversed course from yesterday's negativity as the all-share price index closed in the green at 20,619, recording a gain of 264 points. The index exhibited overall upward movement throughout the day, although some volatility persisted. Commercial Bank, Sampath Bank, Hatton National Bank, Aitken Spence Holdings and DFCC Bank were the top positive contributors to the index. Retail participation picked up relative to yesterday, whilst high net worth investors showed limited activity. Turnover for the day stood at 6.1 billion rupees, reflecting a 20% drop from the monthly average of approximately 7.8 billion rupees. In terms of sector-wise contribution to turnover, the capital goods sector took the lead with a share of 30%, while the utilities sector and the retailing sector followed behind with a combined contribution of 28%. The top 3 price gainers for the day were Tess Agro Voting, Valuable Power Eratna and Onali Holdings, whilst the top 3 price losers were SMB Finance Non-Voting, Senkatagala Finance and Laughs Power Non-Voting. Thank you.
Sri Lanka's manufacturing and services sectors continue to show growth in August of this year, according to the latest Purchasing Managers Indices. The data reflects ongoing expansion and positive business activity across both countries. For further insights on this, we have Manusha Kandanarachi from First Capital Holdings.
Thank you, Anuradhi. To begin with, the Purchasing Managers Index for manufacturing in Sri Lanka recorded a value of 55.2 in August 2025, signaling an expansion in manufacturing activities, though at a slow pace compared to the previous month. All key sub-indices remain above the neutral 50 threshold, indicating continued positive momentum in the sector as well. Notably, the new orders and production sub-indices recorded further growth, largely driven by the robust performance of the food and beverages manufacturing sector. In line with this, the stock of purchases sub-index also increased, supporting ongoing production needs. Meanwhile, the employment sub-index remained in the positive territory, suggesting favorable hiring conditions within the sector. However, the supplies delivery time index continued to reflect delays, with some manufacturers citing extended international shipping times as a contributing factor. When it comes to Purchasing Managers Index services, Sri Lanka's Purchasing Managers Index for services reached 68.9 in August 2025, marking a continued and strong expansion in services activity consistent with the trend observed during the same period last year. Growth in businesses activity was supported by improvements across multiple sectors. Key contributors included wholesale and retail trade, other personal services and accommodation, food and beverage services, with the latter benefiting from the rise in tourist arrivals as well. Additionally, financial services saw further growth, suppressed by increased lending activity. New businesses volumes also rose during the month, driven mainly by the expansion in wholesale and retail trade and financial services. Employment in the services sector continued its upward trend as companies recruited additional staff to meet operational needs. However, backlogs of work saw a slight decline compared to July 2025 as well. Thank you.
Gold prices reached fresh record levels in Asian trading today, nearing $3,700 per ounce, as investors remain confident of a U.S. Federal Reserve interest rate cut later this week. Spot gold edged 0.1% higher to $3,681.02 per ounce after hitting a record peak of $3,689.32 in early trading. U.S. gold futures for December were largely steady at $3,718.20 an ounce. Bullion jumped 1% in the previous session, surpassing record levels notched last week. Other precious metals were under pressure, and silver futures were largely unchanged at $42.95 per ounce, with platinum futures falling 0.6% to $1,410.45 an ounce. Benchmark copper futures on the London Metal Exchange fell 0.5% to $10,101.60 a ton after hitting a 15-month high of $10,192 a ton in the previous session. U.S. COMEX copper futures fell 0.7% to $4.69 a pound. Oil prices held steady today as markets weighed potential supply disruption from Russia after Ukrainian drone attacks on its refineries and the prospect of a U.S. central bank interest rate cut. Brent crude futures slipped 20 cents or 0.3% to $67.24 a barrel, while West Texas Intermediate crude was at $63.11, down 19 cents, also 0.3% yesterday. Brent settled up 45 cents at $67.44, while WTI settled 61 cents higher at $63.30. Ukraine has intensified attacks on Russia's energy infrastructure in an attempt to impair Moscow's war capability as talks to end their conflict have stalled. Markets were also factoring in the likelihood of crude inventory declines in the U.S. last week. The Sri Lankan rupee has depreciated further against the US dollar at commercial banks today compared to yesterday. The LKR has generally depreciated against most regional currencies like the Indian rupee, the Bangladeshi taka, the Pakistani rupee and the Malaysian ringgit. In short, the Sri Lankan rupee is mostly weaker or non-par compared to regional currencies, driven by internal economic issues and external global market pressures. Let's take a closer look on how the Sri Lankan rupee has performed against other major global currencies today. A short break now. This is the Nightly Business Report. Welcome back to the Nightly Business Report. NDB Wealth unveils a major upgrade to its X-App corporate platform, offering real-time account access and instant financial reporting. The enhanced platform empowers corporate clients with smarter, faster and more secure investment oversight.
NDB Wealth has announced a major upgrade to its digital platform, X-App Corporate, tailored for corporate clients seeking greater speed, control and financial visibility. The enhanced platform now offers real-time access to account balances and live transaction monitoring. Users can instantly generate customized reports, including transaction summaries, account statements and portfolio snapshots. This eliminates manual requests and improved decision-making through immediate digital access. Designed with a secure and user-friendly interface, X-App Corporate enhances efficiency for corporate finance teams.
Be Waxed, in partnership with its popular Goddess Cosmetics line, launched Glow Up Wellness Shots, a 100% natural beauty and wellness drink at the Amber Poolside Colombo Court Hotel. The product is designed to support skin health, energy and immunity, promoting beauty from the inside out. Founder Durga Kenny emphasized the brand's mission to integrate wellness into everyday beauty rituals, empowering users to feel confident and radiant. Crafted with clean, nature-derived ingredients, the shots represent a step forward in holistic self-care. The launch marks a significant expansion of the Goddess Cosmetics brand, which has built a strong reputation in skincare over the past 5 years. The event captured the essence of a new product: elegant, empowering and wellness-focused. SEAT Kalani Holdings celebrated its annual dealer convention and awards gala in grand style at Shangri-La Colombo, honouring top-performing dealers from across the country.
SEAT Kalani Holdings hosted its annual dealer convention and awards gala at Shangri-La Colombo, celebrating partnership performance and excellence with 145 top dealers and their families. Themed Autobahn 2.0, the event highlighted the speed, comfort and control associated with SEAT's car radials, reflecting the brand's German-engineered performance. Chairman Chanaka De Silva announced a 4.5 billion rupee investment over the next 12 to 18 months to enhance product quality and technology. The evening's highlight was the SEAT Partner Excellence Awards, with UNH Wheel Services named overall winner, followed by Sandeep Auto Enterprises and Abdeen Tire Service. Category awards recognize top performers across product segments, accompanied by cash prizes and vouchers.
Salam Bank is supporting the National Industry Expo 2025 for the third consecutive year, reaffirming its commitment to Sri Lanka's industrial growth. Organised by the Ministry of Industry and Entrepreneurship Development and the Industrial Development Board, the event will take place from the 18th to the 21st of September at BMICH. This year's theme focuses on unlocking untapped market opportunities and driving industrial development across the country. Salam Bank will offer specialised financial solutions, including refinance facilities to support SMEs, exporters and industrialists. The expo will also serve as a platform for collaboration, innovation and the exchange of ideas to accelerate economic growth. Visitors are encouraged to engage with Salam Bank at their booth to explore customized banking services and partnership opportunities. The Commercial Bank of Ceylon has been named Sri Lanka's Best Bank and Best Bank for SMEs at the prestigious Euromoney Awards for Excellence 2025. These accolades highlight the bank's outstanding financial performance, digital innovation and leadership in supporting the SME sector.
Commercial Bank of Ceylon was honoured as Sri Lanka's Best Bank and Best Bank for SMEs at the Euromoney Awards for Excellence 2025. These awards recognise the bank's exceptional financial results, including a near 200% increase in profit before tax to 95.54 billion rupees in 2024 and its leadership in digital banking. The bank's return on equity reached 22.06%, while asset quality improved significantly, with impaired loans dropping to 2.76%. Euromoney praised the bank's digital innovation, noting over 1.5 million CommBank digital users and the successful adoption of AI-driven underwriting for faster credit decisions. The bank's strong focus on SMEs were also commended, with increased lending, advisory support and targeted initiatives for women-owned businesses.
Let's take a short commercial break. Global business updates coming on the other side. This is the Nightly Business Report. Welcome back to the Nightly Business Report. Most Asian stock markets extended their rally today, with shares in Japan and South Korea hitting fresh record highs, buoyed by a potential US interest rate cut this week. Japan's Nikkei and South Korea's Kospi hit fresh record peaks. The Nikkei 225 rose as much as 0.6% to a new record high of 45,055.38 points, each a fresh record level of 3,177.20 points. South Korea's Kospi surged 1.3% to 3,452.50 points. The blue chip Shanghai Shenzhen CSI 300 slipped 0.4% from near 3-year highs, while the Shanghai Composite edged 0.2% lower, drifting away from decade highs. Hong Kong's Hang Seng Index traded largely flat. Elsewhere, Australia's S&P ASX 200 gained 0.2%, while Singapore's Straits Times Index traded flat. India's Nifty 50 also inched 0.2% higher at open. US stock indexes ended higher with the S&P 500 and Nasdaq touching intraday records as Wall Street awaits the Federal Reserve's key policy decision this week.
The three major U.S. stock indexes closed higher on Monday, with the Dow up marginally, while the S&P 500 added about 0.5% and the Nasdaq rose nearly 1%. The S&P 500 and the Nasdaq hit intraday record highs. Traders on Monday are pricing in a 96% chance of a 25 basis point cut at this week's meeting.
Danish offshore wind developer Ørsted has priced its $9.42 billion rights issue at $10.46 per share, a 66.7% discount to the stock's closing price, as it shores up its finances in the face of mounting challenges.
Danish offshore wind developer Ørsted has priced its $9.4 billion rights issue at over $10 per share. That's over a 66% discount to the stock's closing price on Friday, as it shores up its finances in the face of mounting challenges. The company has been grappling with supply chain disruptions, surging interest rates, and project delays. US President Donald Trump's anti-wind policies have also caused problems. It's all left its share price down 85% from a 2021 peak. Earlier this month, Ørsted won shareholder approval for the capital raise. It's to help fund US projects that have been thrown into uncertainty. At the heart of its financial struggles are the US projects Sunrise Wind and Revolution Wind. 2/3 of the new capital is earmarked for Sunrise Wind. The project saw potential co-investors flee after the White House ordered Norway's Equinor to halt a neighbouring wind farm in April. The rights issue closes at the start of next month, with trading in the new shares set to start on October the 10th.
And that wraps up today's Nightly Business Report. We value your opinion as always, so please share your thoughts and feedback with us through email at feedback.ad24english@derana.lk or via WhatsApp at 076-805-7933. We'll see you again tomorrow with the latest updates across the business globe. Vinod Varasurya will meet you next with other Derana Sports Central. And until then, I'm Anuradhi Vikramasinghe. Thank you very much for watching. Have a good night.